Good evening, viewers, and welcome to today's episode on Time with your Banker and Financial Advisor, sponsored by DataBank and Securities and Exchange Commission. We'll take some few commercials and we'll be right back.
Again. I want a mix. Again. I want again.
Again, we in good shape the whole day. Again, we always want more and more. Again, Dule, Tam Tam, Savannah. Again, Isusu.
I want to give.
Dule, Tam Tam, Savannah. Dule, Tam Tam, Savannah. We want more.
Welcome back. This program is sponsored by Securities and Exchange Commission and DataBank. Yeah, Mr. Kojo Addae-Mensah. Actually, he is the CEO of DataBank. So today, indeed, we have a very distinguished guest with us. Mr. Addae-Mensah, welcome to Time with your
Thank you very
Banker
much.
and Financial Advisor.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, can you give us a brief on what DataBank does?
Well, DataBank is an investment bank, and we are not a commercial bank. Let me quickly say that. Yes, we do have the name bank, but we are not data and bank separated. There's one word, is DataBank, and it's an investment bank. And essentially, we do maybe, let me say, two core activities. We do fund management, and then we do securities trading and advisory. So our two core businesses are broken into two separate subsidiaries. So we have the asset management subsidiary, which does the fund management. So under the asset management, you see that is where we have our mutual fund products, where people come in and buy our various mutual funds, EPAC, M Fund, ARC Fund, B Fund, EDI Fund. And then we also have the pensions subunit where we manage pension funds as well. We also have the institutional business where we manage funds for institutions. And then we have what you call the private wealth, where we manage high net worth individuals who would want some specific ways of managing their custom-made management of their funds. So that will be, in the nutshell, our asset management subsidiary. And then we have the brokerage subsidiary.
Can you kindly talk about your fund what fund management really is about?
Okay,
yes,
so it's pretty simple. Let's say everybody has money. Everybody wants to manage their money in one way or the other. Some people are able to manage their money themselves and do not even want to have the help of any expert or a professional. So we are available for people who would want a professional who is doing research to check what is out there, what is good to invest your money in. So there are people who want that service. So we provide that service. So just to simplify it, we look after your money on your behalf. Of course, we will charge a little fee for that.
So when we are talking of people, it could be institution.
Yes.
It could be individuals.
Yes.
So it's not narrow or curtailed to maybe an individual that we're talking about, but an individual and an institution, because an institution, when it is separated from its owner, becomes an individual.
Correct, exactly.
So you cut across.
We do cut across, and that's why I said even within the fund management part of the business, we do have the retail, which usually they go into the mutual funds. We have the institutional business where we specifically have people managing institutions. And then we have the pension funds. And most pension funds come from institutions anyway. So we do not discriminate between individuals and institutions. Indeed, we manage...
When it comes to pensions?
When it comes to even all the fund management.
Okay.
And yes, when it comes to pensions too, because individuals must prepare for their retirement as well. And we have packages where we can help you manage how you would plan towards your retirement, because it's not everybody who is doing a job that the company will be preparing for their retirement. For there's not everybody who is on SNET. The statistics show that there are very low numbers who are in SNET. So we do have packages for individuals as well. So we don't discriminate at all, right? From anybody who wants to invest from 10 cedis to millions and hundreds of millions, we have people available to help you manage that.
So you have room to put everybody in?
Yes, we have room to put
no matter the amount
no
involved.
matter who you are in the world, we have a product that can meet your need. We have people who would be talking to you and give you professional advice and guide you so that you take the right steps towards your own financial.
And the amount can be as low as?
Oh, as low as 10 cedis. In fact, when we go into when we go onto the campuses and we go to the student outreach, we even open zero balance accounts. So we just open the account with 0 cedis. The important thing is for you to start. So anytime you get your 10 cedis or your 20 cedis or whatever it is, you can start and put it in. Always we say the important thing is to start and be consistent. It's not about the amount. So we cater for everybody at all.
So in a nutshell, you also encourage savings?
Yes, I mean, what
because
I
if you are in the universities and you open zero account and you are encouraging them to put monies away, in effect, you are...
That's exactly what we are doing. We are not even encouraging saving. We are encouraging investing. Saving could be putting the money in a box somewhere under your bed. That is saving. But when you bring it to an institution like DataBank, you want the money to grow. To grow. Exactly. You want some compounding interest to come on it. That is investing. Yes, it is part of the saving culture, but just if you restrict it to saving, it could just be putting the money in a box somewhere under your mattress.
And not expecting anything.
That's not what we are encouraging. We are encouraging you to put it in something that will help it to grow.
Okay. Yeah. And how about your securities trading?
Yeah, so the brokerage wing does the securities trading. So people hear of you want to go and buy shares. People say, oh, I want to go and buy shares. The most recent was MTN. Everybody said, oh, MTN is selling its shares. You can't just go straight to MTN on your own to go and buy the shares. You need to do it through a licensed broker, a licensed company that deals with the stock exchange, that deals with the share buying and selling. So when you want to buy MTN shares, as an example, you cannot go straight to MTN yourself and say, I want to buy your shares. You need to come to a firm like DataBank, who is licensed by the Securities and Exchange Commission and licensed by the Ghana Stock Exchange to buy shares through us. You need a professional company like DataBank to do that for you. So if you want to buy shares of any of the companies that are on the stock market, that is where you come to, and then we will facilitate it for you. We also do what we say in financial parlance, fixed income securities. By that, I will mean if you want to buy, say, even treasury bills, you want to buy a bond, you want to buy maybe a government of Ghana 2-3 year bond. We are also at DataBank licensed to do that for you. You don't necessarily, you cannot go to Bank of Ghana straight and say, I want to buy 91-day bills or I want to buy 81-day bills. You have to come to a licensed institution like DataBank to do that. Our brokerage ring also does that for individuals, again, and institutions. There's no discrimination there. We cater for anybody at all, and you are able to come and then do that transaction.
But one always needs to have an account with you first.
Yes, when you come in, depending on which area you're going, whether it's the fund management space or you're coming to the brokerage space, yes, we will open an account for you where all your transactions will be processed through, and then you can get your periodic statements, your alerts, and everything that shows what it is you are doing with us.
What does one need to know before investing? Because, you know, people just have money, they don't, and they go and put it anywhere.
That's true.
At the end of the day, they end up losing their money. So I don't want us to go into that area, because we all know what happened in the country.
Yes, that's true.
Since 2017.
Yeah, that's true.
So what does one need to know before investing?
It's actually very simple, you know. When you walk into any firm that purports to be an investment bank, you need to ask a few questions, and you need to also do a few follow-ups. You have to start off by saying, are you regulated at all? Do you have a regulator? So
that is the question.
That is the number one question you must ask. So an investment banks are licensed by the Securities and Exchange Commission. Even if they are a deposit-taking institution and they say they do whatever they are doing, you have to ask them, are they regulated and by who? In this country, the regulators for all the various things that we do are there. The Securities and Exchange Commission is there for us. There's the National Pensions Regulatory Authority.
As per DataBank,
like DataBank and all investment banks, like the National Pensions Regulatory Authority, the Ghana Stock Exchange. So the regulators are there. So the first question you ask, if you walk into DataBank, you can ask, who is your regulator? And our answer is the Securities and Exchange Commission. You know, and then you can then start asking, okay, what is your track record? Who are the people behind this company? Are they properly licensed by the Securities and Exchange Commission? So at DataBank, me sitting here every year, I have to go for a renewal of my license from the Securities and Exchange Commission. That is why track record is important. You could be there for whatever number of years, but for one reason or the other, there will be some issue that will come. Then you will not have a current license. So you must, the people who are trying to invest must also check whether these people I'm dealing with, do they have a current license? DataBank, do you have a current license? The answer will always be yes. Our staff who you are talking to, they are licensed. You can even ask, are you licensed? People have even gone further to ask us to show them a copy of our license. That was what I was coming to. Do you post it in your branches? Yes, but it's not, we do post it in our branches, but sometimes you go out there and then people are still asking you the questions. So I've had cases where our staff have even carried copies in a file just to show, and it gives confidence that yes, these people are properly and currently licensed. And after you've asked, and they are being regulated, they are being properly regulated. So if there's an issue that comes up and the investment firm you are dealing with is properly regulated, then you have recourse. It's not always that maybe that recourse will be resolved immediately, but at least it's not a complete disaster if you have dealt with a properly regulated company. And then you can even go further and call the regulator or go to the regulator's website and check what the status of the companies are. Are they even filing their returns? Are they filing it on time? Because these are all symptoms of issues that are coming up. When you have a company that is even regulated and is then not beginning to file its returns, to send its reports on time, you know, and they are giving examples here and there. Some of the companies that have gone under, these were some of the symptoms. But how do the investor know? You have to check with the regulator. You see, I don't want to sound too harsh, but sometimes we want a quick thing. You know, you are just in a hurry to just do the investment and get your return. The painful process of going through the checks, people don't want to do that before they do the investment. But if you go to the regulator, the information is there and they can give it to you. We just like to ask a friend or a friend, and the friend says, oh yes, it's good. When I went there, it worked. This was what happened. And then we are happy with that. I don't think so. I think it's time we also make the regulator do the work that they have to do. Sometimes we just leave them to be there and nobody puts any pressure on them. This is quite interesting. Viewers will take a short break. This program is sponsored by DataBank and Securities and Exchange Commission. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Again. I want a mix. Again. I want
Again. Be in good shape the whole day. Again. We always want more and more. Again. Dole, tam savannah. Again. Isusu.
I want to give.
Dole, tam savannah. We want more.
Welcome back, viewers. This program is proudly sponsored by DataBank and Securities and Exchange Commission. Yeah, Mr. Addae-Mensah, DataBank talks about financial independence. What about that?
So when we talk about financial independence at DataBank, what it is we are trying to say is for you to be able to do whatever you want to do when you want to do it without necessarily being in debt. A lot of the time, people sit back and say, oh, I'll just use an example. I want to maybe buy a car as an example. And the first thing that comes into their mind is, I'll go and take a loan. Somebody says, I want to do a master's or do another degree or go to school. The first thing that comes to their mind is, let me go and take a loan and then go and do it, because they want it on the now. The moment they think about it, then they want it now. But what we are trying to teach and advise is that sometimes these things can be done without necessarily being in debt. And then you can just have your independence and not have somebody on your neck all the time. Once you decide that this is what I want, then you ask yourself, what will I need to get there? When you come to a place like DataBank, we have tools, and you go to our DataBank website, www.databankgroup.com.
Can I get it?
www.databankgroup.com. When you go there, there are tools that we have provided that you will be able...
Your group is GRP.
GROUP.
The full group.
The full group, yes. The full group. DataBank
so
Group.
The website is www.databankgroup.com.
Yes.
www.databankgroup.com.
www.databankgroup.com. Yes.
Yeah. And the group is the normal spelling of group.
Yes.
GROUP, not GRP, please.
Yes. Thank you very much. So when you go there, there are tools that we have provided that will tell you, okay, if the cost of the education is, as an example, 50,000, and so you need 50,000 for the education, we can tell you how much you need to maybe put aside if you want to raise the money in a year or in 2 years. We can tell you how much you have to put aside, assuming you are earning a certain average return over that period, to be able to hit that number, so that you can go and pay for whatever it is you want to do, and without necessarily being in debt. Most of the time, without preparing and without thinking through what it means, we jump, get the quickest loan without even thinking about the amount of money we are going to pay. And
that's the interest element.
Yes, the interest element. And in no time, you find yourself in perpetual debt, because you keep paying and paying. And sometimes you may even have to borrow to pay off somebody, and then it continues. It's a vicious cycle.
Peter
to pay Paul. So at DataBank, we try and teach you ways in which you can patiently raise the necessary amount of money that you need for a certain project. Most of the time, we are always in a hurry. We think about it and then we want it. But yes, you want to further your education or you want to buy a car, but do you really need it immediately you've thought about it? Sit back, take another look, come onto the DataBank Group website, look at the tools available, or even visit any of our offices, talk to a professional, and we will be able to help you achieve whatever it is you want to achieve without necessarily being in debt. And for us, will be our definition of being financially independent and not dependent on somebody.
So you are saying that, when one takes a decision, especially in the area of educating or furthering that person's education, it is a now decision.
Yes.
So if you are saying people should put monies away, and they also need that now decision, they need the money, somebody will say immediately at once.
Yes, I know.
How does that one go?
It's true. I mean, most of the time it is when you think of it, then immediately you want it. But you can ask yourself, okay, I've been without this degree or this paper for the past 2-3 years. Yes, maybe it has started my growth in my career for a bit, but you have to think long term. A lot of the time we think short term. That is the word. That is it.
Thinking long term.
Yes,
we Ghanaians, we are
too short term minded.
That is it. we don't look into the future
at all. But you just, if you take a step back, I mean, maybe that furthering of the degree is just a 2-year thing. But if it takes you 3 years to prepare for 2 years, and for you to be free after that, is that not better? Yeah, is that not better than trying to do it now? In the 2 years,
stretching yourself,
and then you're going to start depending on people and people and people. It's something that we need. It's a mindset that we need to really change. Look, I'm not saying it's wrong to go for a loan and to do whatever it is you're doing. But if you are going that route, you need to know exactly what you are putting yourself into and to be sure that you have the right plans and the right material to be able to handle the pressure that comes with it.
Then I think this message must go down well with the university students.
Yes.
Because after first degree, you definitely will want to do a second degree.
Yes.
So if you start putting away your 10 tendencies you're talking about, by the time you are completing school and getting a job and wanting to further your education to do your second degree or even your PhD, you will have enough investment that you can always follow.
We always
so
do that,
you can get yourself cushioned and then be able to pursue whatever career you intend
Indeed,
doing.
sometimes what we try and educate them, especially the students at DataBank, what we try and do is a lot of the time they all have ideas that they want to do when they leave school, not even necessarily further the education immediately, but maybe a certain business they want to do, some trading they want to do, and they come out and say, I don't have capital. If I had the capital, I could start this. But while you are in school, those 4 years you're staying in school, you could really build up that capital, start the business, and when the business is doing well, you can always go back to school with income that is being generated even from that business that you've started. A lot of the time, students leave school saying, I wish I had capital, I'll be doing A, B, or C. But when you sit back and you look at the amount of money you've spent, I won't say on frivolous things, but the amount of money you've spent while being a student and what you could have, even a little you could have taken out of that amount to invest and prepare for that 4-year journey, you'll be amazed. And the tools are there on the website. If they go there, they will be able to do all the calculation. If they need help, they can also come to us.
If they need help, they can come to DataBank.
Yes.
So that means that your doors are open to everybody.
All the time. In fact, our doors are now open 24/7, as they say, because through our digital agenda, we also have our mobile app. They can always download the mobile app and do whatever it is they want to do there. They can learn whatever. Our mobile app is not just geared towards transactions and just processing. It has tools there. It has educational material that you can also read. The youth of today like the app. They like to be in the comfort of their home and do whatever they want to do. They can do that. You can go onto their website. There are online services there that you can do. So our doors are open round the clock to the whole world, not only to Ghanaians. And we don't discriminate at all. Some people say they have to wear their Sunday best before they walk into DataBank. It's not true. You can just come in no matter who you are.
Yeah. There's been recent rumor that DataBank is in a crisis, sort of. But I think we'll do that discussion next week. Viewers, this is where we'll end today's discussion on Time with Your Banker and Financial Advisor with the CEO of DataBank, Mr. Kojo Addae-Mensah. See you same time next week. I'm your banker, Betty Aye.